Hello and welcome back to the port. I'm the Gav Measure, and this is a review of the Pan-Asia Tech Tree Tier 7 destroyer, this Hsien Yang. The H is silent if you're looking how to pronounce it. Now, this is a Tier 6 and 7 game of Capture the Base on Neighbours. On the other team we have a Mass, a Friesland, a Kagera, a York, another York in the division with a Gneisenau. Now we have a Baltimore, a Sinop, and another Gneisenau. So, Baltimore and the two Yorks are probably quite concerning, because obviously the Yorks have a very good sonar range and the Baltimore obviously does come with radar. Enemy destroyers wise, the Mass and the Friesland both have sonar. The Friesland has a very good reload, so those are two things I also need to be concerned about as well. So, start on the left, and we're going to play a bit of left flank, I guess you could say, on this game of Capture the Base on Neighbours. So, ROCS Hsien Yang was USS Rodman, which was a Cleves class destroyer, which was built obviously for the United States Navy in the early 1940s. USS Rodman was actually launched in September 1941, following a successful career, I guess you could say, through World War II and after even. I think she also partook partially in the Korean War. She was then decommissioned in 1955, where she was transferred to the Republic of China Navy, which nowadays goes by the name of Taiwan. And she then served there as the Hsien Yang. Now, she was nicknamed the Gong Yang following a couple of collisions in 1956, and she continued to live up to this name until the end. For those of you interested, the name means ram. So basically, she used to ram things quite a bit. Anyway, back to that nickname. Why did it stick? Well, in 1969 she did run aground, which wasn't really that helpful, and she was deemed to be too damaged to continue service, and was basically dropped from the front line, and the name was transferred to another ship. The ship in question then was scuttled in 1976 as a movie prop, I guess you could say. Anyway, as always, in comparison to the Tech Tree Tier 7 destroyers, what we're looking at: survivability, she has the second lowest HP of 15,500, which isn't completely surprising considering she is almost something very similar, I guess you say, to a Tier 6 destroyer. Oh, we are spotted by Kagera, which isn't that bad. Knowing the Kagera's here, I'm quite happy to try and engage on my own terms. I might even use a bit of Speedy Gonzales and see if we can get moving. Now, we know we did get some flooding on the Sinop, so we might take advantage of this. And noting the Baltimore back there, which will obviously have a radar range of 8.5 kilometers. Putting the fire out, getting a fire on the Sinop, which is what we want, and I'm hoping I can just disengage from the Friesland. There we go. And now we just wait and see if maybe the Kagera might play aggressive and come around the corner. No, but we do have the radar from the Baltimore, so what we might do is just try and evade that, I guess you could say. That's going to be 30 seconds of us being lit up. Anyway, yeah, so she has a very low HP. She's also got the typical tin can armor scheme that I guess most DD players are used to these days. Artillery wise, she has 4 number 5-inch guns mounted in 4 single mounts. We have A turret, B turret, super firing up front, and then we have X turret super firing over Y turret at the rear. Now, these offer you the second longest range for the tier at 11.5 kilometers. Also the second fastest reload of 3.3 seconds. Now, they also have the joint fastest turret traverse speed of 5.3 seconds per 180 degrees rotation. I guess that's what you come to expect when it's a American destroyer. The Kagera is definitely ahead, so we're seeing if we can cut the Kagera off. Maybe see if we can get some sneaky torps out onto the Baltimore over there, which we know has recently used his radar. Maybe we might see if we can just bait the Baltimore. I mean, would the Baltimore... Oh, we might not even have to try and bait the Baltimore. We'll just engage the Kagera, I think. And use our rate of fire. And what I got to hope is maybe the Baltimore might turn broad into my torpedoes. Which unfortunately means I have to stay broad to this Kagera. I think my torpedoes are probably going to miss the Baltimore. We should find out soon. I ain't got a chance to look though. Ooh, we are going to get pinched by the edge of the map, so we're going to have to just start running, I think. Hope that the Baltimore doesn't try and pinch us off here. We should be alright, we're just going to have to keep running, I think. But we managed to get rid of the kick area, which is most certainly the correct thing to do. So yes, when it comes to the shells, she has an average HE shell damage of 1,900 per shell. She also has the worst fire chance of 5% and the joint second lowest AP shell damage of 2,200. In combination with her number of guns and her reload speed, you are looking at having the 4th highest HE DPM, which is quite nice, but you are also looking at having the worst fires per minute and the 4th lowest AP DPM, so that's where you fall short, I guess you could say. Torpedo wise, as you've already seen, we have those deep water torpedoes which have those tier duct or battleship tier ducts or tiers like shapes. Unfortunately we've got nothing in range that we can fire torpedoes out, but we are expecting probably a Baltimore to come charging around this corner here, so maybe we might drop some there. But as you can see, quite good torpedo angles, quite advantageous, and of course being there's 2 quintuplet launchers, they can fire to both sides, so you do have a total torpedo broadside of 10 torpedoes. Now, these have the second slowest reload of 120 seconds, but they do have an average reload time per tube, so really the reload time of 120 seconds is mostly due to them being quintuplet launchers, so that's basically 5 tubes per launcher. Am I going to accidentally ram a battleship? No, we should be alright just to cover around the front here, which is alright then. Might start heading back to the base. Yes, that seems like a nice idea. We've got half a life freezing there, which is not great for us to engage, but maybe we can provide some assistance to the rest of our team. Now, these torpedoes do have an average torpedo damage of 17,000 and an average range of 9 kilometers. They also have the joint second slowest speed of 60 knots, but do have the best detectability of 0.7 kilometers. So what this means is if you run the math, you're looking at a reaction time of about 4.5 seconds should those torpedoes be spotted at that very short range of 0.7 kilometers. If our cruiser well, our cruiser should have a good chance of taking out the York, I would have hoped. Maybe I might push a bit closer and then use a smokescreen. But what this unfortunately means is this whole time I can't get close enough to get into the base. We'll just have to see how it goes, I think. I think that's close enough. Oh, we did get a fire on him. What might do? It's a bit of a risk because we are possibly inside sonar range of the York, but if we use a bit of AP, there we go, and then we can get going in.
Teammate, I need your support.
Basically, I'm saying to the Cleveland, I'm going to need your help with this one, and I'm going to make a run for it. And we should be alright, fingers crossed. But we do have the enemy Baltimore behind us, unfortunately. So, on to manoeuvrability, what are we looking at? Well, she does have the joint third fastest speed of 38 knots, second smallest turn circle of 570 meters, and the third best rotor shift of 3.5 seconds. So she's quite a maneuverable little destroyer, quite nicely. Concealment wise, you're looking at having an average detectability by sea of only 7 kilometers, detectability by air of 3.5 kilometers, and a detectability with fire and smoke of 2.6 kilometers. I don't think this game is going to have much, well, not much length in the teeth, unfortunately. I think I'm going to end up getting absolutely decimated by a Friesland. Now, we do have 2 engine boosts, and these will obviously improve my engine speed by 8% for 120 seconds, taking our base speed up to 41.04 knots. This does have a 180 second reload. Now, as you can see, I've taken smokescreen in this case. Oh, can I? Oh, no. I was hoping maybe I could just keep the freezing spotted, but unfortunately we're not going to be able to do that. I mean, whether we could maybe win this engagement against a Friesland would be amusing. somehow with an engagement against a Friesland, so I'm not going to complain about that. I'm just going to start running because that's a lot of shells being blind fired in our general vicinity. Ooh, right, I wasn't expecting to be alive here. Yes, so Smokescreens, you get 4 number of those, and I kind of wish I had one now. These have a 30-second duration, that's how long it takes to lay a smokescreen, a 70-second dispersion, which is how long it's going to sit around for, and a 120-second reload. Now they're quite a weird one. It's not quite your standard American smokescreen that probably used to with say your Russians and your Japanese. It's not your really long smokescreen that you get with the Americans, and it's not your really super short smokescreen that you get with your British. It's kind of like that in between with the British and say the Japanese and Russians. What it kind of does offer you though, amusingly, is you're only looking at about 50 seconds between smoke screens. So say you're smoke shooting and then your smoke dissipates and you want to move on to your next smoke screen, you haven't got that long to wait. And second of all, by having that number of smoke screens up to 4, you do actually have the capability of having the longest amount of time hidden by smoke in comparison to the other Tech Tree Tier 7s. Now, as you also probably know, this destroyer can swap that smokescreen out for radar. Now that's quite an interesting consumable. Not something I'd recommend if you play solo. Can be quite nice if you are a bit of a DD hunter. I have considered it myself, but I kind of find I'd rather have the smokescreen having that ability to break off, to hide, to survive, and let others do spotting sometimes. It can be quite helpful in comparison to, say, having radar. The downside of having radar is when you turn it on, you know what to shoot. The problem is then you shoot and then you're going to be detected, and that can obviously be a bit of a downside if the enemy DD is supported sufficiently. Now this radar, as we mentioned, has a range of 7.5 kilometers, and you get 2 number of these. It has a duration of 15 seconds and 180 second reload. Ooh, Baltimore getting away with it there. Now, when it comes to the modules and commander build, that is, as always, down in the description for your reference. Now, in this case, I've taken Aiming Systems Module 1, just because it's a general all-rounder trait, I guess you could say. I've also taken Propulsion Module 2. That stop-start ability can be quite nice, especially if you do play that kind of gunboaty build. I might just stop here and actually pop a smoke, because you never know. I think the Baltimore's distracted enough not to shoot at me. Now, for the third module, obviously taken Concealment Module, or Concealment System Module 1. Reason being is obviously you're a destroyer. You're going to be playing that concealment game, and every bit of concealment that you get sometimes can give you a bit of advantage over an enemy destroyer. Last but not least, I've taken Main Battery Module 3. The reason being is this improves reload speed and decreases, well, basically reduces reload speed but increases your turret traverse like time, so basically reduces your turret traverse. So the reason behind this is because of your kind of like hybrid ability. I guess you could say you're kind of relying on your guns purely in a DD engagement because you only have those deep water torpedoes. So what that means is you're very reliant on your guns. So I find if you can improve that reload speed, it might give you a bit more of an upper hand in a close quarters engagement against enemy DD. Furthermore, because you've only got the 4 guns, it is going to obviously improve your DPM and stuff as well. Oh well, 44,000 damage, nothing spectacular. 3 defender ribbons, 6 detection ribbons, quite interesting. Only 2 kills, but nothing spectacular. Got the Kagero, we've tickled the York to death almost, I guess you say. 4 fires and 1 flooding from only 1 torpedo hit. So all those torpedoes, only 1 hitter, which was a complete blind fire chance on the snop at the start, I think you can say. So going on to the team results. Okay, I'm rather surprised about that. I thought maybe one of the other destroyers might have done a bit better on the other flank, so to be honest, I'm quite pleased with that. It means that although my damage isn't that high, my general contribution to the team was quite good, which is obviously was quite helpful. Economy wise, walking away with a total profit of 177,000 credits with a rare credit booster. Ship service cost in this case is 146,000 credits, which is quite normal for a tier 7 tech tree ship, and obviously she's not a premium ship, so this is just a standard earning potential. I would always recommend a rare credit booster at tier 7, just obviously it helps making sure that you will bring in some money. And again, having a premium account obviously does help. Without the credit booster and a premium account, I probably would have only made a profit of about I want to say about 16,000 credits, give or take. I mean, that's just off the cuff. I might be a bit wrong there. So all in all, I'm quite pleased with that. As a destroyer, I think she's a nice hybrid. The only thing is, I personally feel that the deep water torpedoes is kind of a detriment to this ship, because obviously it gives you nothing when you're in a DD versus DD engagement. Obviously guns are going to be your go-to in every ship, but not having any torpedoes obviously just puts you at that little bit of a disadvantage, I guess you could say, because you can't have any like surprise engagements. You can't use them as like to try and deny an enemy, a DD, a certain ability to turn broadside on sometimes and things like that. Or you can't use it to rush them out of their smoke or something. So I kind of find that to be a little bit of a detriment. But obviously they do hit quite hard against battleships and cruisers, and pretty much always guarantee a flooding. So when you do get those lovely hits, they really do hit. It's also worth mentioning the Hsien Yang does have a slightly improved AA complement. She does have some 40mm bofers on the back. I think she's got 2 quadruple launch mounts of those, along with a smattering of some 20mm Ehrlichen all over. Well, if you did enjoy this review, feel free to give it a thumbs up. If you enjoy this kind of content, feel free to subscribe. As always, down in the description, command builder modules for your reference, link to Patreon if you want to support the channel on Patreon, as it is a non-monetized channel, and email address for the channel if you want to send any of your own game captures, just for showcasing if you feel like it. Until next time, I'm the Gareth Major, and back to the port.
Hey, hey, clear the way, here comes the galloping major. Bumpity, 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 bump. Get out of the way there, you fellows, unless you want me to run you down. I guess this is the life. Now, hey, hey, clear the way, here comes the galloping major.